Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Captain on the Bridge podcast. I am here with the great Yaz.
Hello.
And to Dave.
Hey, what's up?
And I'm your host for this week's episode. My name is AzrialVanity. This is my first time on the podcast.
Yay!
So this is going to be
First
fun.
First time in host. Let's go.
I know, huge. So one thing that I did actually want to mention, because it was pretty consistent with the other two episodes, and I just think it is a cool thing to have at the start, is even if you are returning, say when you came into Honkai. Like, what was the point in time that you actually started playing?
All right, now I'll go first. And I came around the Eva collab.
So did you, Dave, right?
I am a February 2021 player for the love of my life, Asuka Shikinami Langley.
Man has the date memorized like an anniversary.
I know.
I don't know the exact date.
Should,
it's like February 6th or something.
That collab was really good. I will say I unfortunately didn't get the Kiana skin from that collab, but it was good nonetheless. I started a week before they dropped Lament of the Fallen, I think.
Ooh,
wow.
Yeah, so and I technically I did play a little bit before, like I think a couple months before that, but I only played for like 2 days and then I stopped playing. And what's funny is what actually kept me playing was I saw how different the UI was in the story missions for Lament of the Fallen, like that chapter, and how it had like its own special background, and like the actual story blocks were, you know, nice as opposed to how chapter 1 and chapter 2 look. And I was like, I want to get there. Like, I want to get to that part.
The game actually improved, right?
Yeah, because I was like, I know that's where it gets good.
And they have been doing that ever since, right? I think
they have.
Right?
They pretty much have like pretty like specialized like story blocks for each chapter, depending on what it is.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's so good now, though.
Mm-hmm.
Incredible. But yes, so today's or this week's topic is part 2 pre-release, because part 2 is coming out in technically 8 days. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
8 days.
Oh yeah, brother. But from the time of that's from the time of this recording, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
from the time of this recording, yeah. So technically from the time of release, it'll be 6 days?
Less than a week.
6 days.
Probably less than a week, yeah.
Crazy. And then also part 1 Lookback. But with part 2 coming around, have you guys done the little like part 2? I don't know where you are in the story, so I'm just asking. I don't want to like spoil. I don't want to bring up any topics that'll like spoil you.
I was gonna say I did the whole like spiritual sabbatical thing. I was like, I finished part 1. I had my like catharsis. Kiana's my favorite character, so I'm like I'm okay with like let me just like shut down for a little bit, right? Because like I didn't want to go through another like huge kind of story section, so I haven't been like as active in HI3 lately. That being said, though, if like Yaz, you're also okay with this, like I'm totally down for like a and the audience, right? I'm okay with like a spoiler filled brief of what happened, but at the same time, like you can kind of decide how you want to.
Yeah, well, I actually based a lot of the stuff I'm going to talk about the fact that you may have not known.
Oh hell yeah,
and
brother!
To be fair, I haven't looked into everything that is like in part 2. I've only done the stuff that's like leading up, like teased up to part 2, because obviously I do want to experience it on stream myself whenever I do play part 2 when it comes out. But as far as your knowledge of what's going to be in part 2, what's the biggest thing that you guys are looking forward to that they're going to be adding in part 2?
So I actually like, unironically, I don't know how. I got spoiled on like Honkai, Slara and Genshin, but Honkai, I don't know how I can dodge that thing like the Matrix. like here and there, I'll see like the CG scenes posted by people, and I'm like, I look at it, I'm like, it's like one of those like the memes. Like if you look at a JoJo spoiler, you know it's a spoiler, but you don't know what the heck is going on. It's the same thing for me when I see the CGs. I'm like, that's interesting. I don't know what's going on, and I'll proceed to forget about it. Like so, I literally have no idea like what is happening at all. Like leading up to it, like I finished everything up to like 1.5, right, which is like the Fuhua quest line. Yeah. Like I haven't done the is it like the interlude of like the current one that we have right now? Is that what they call it, the interlude?
So they technically don't even have it like called anything. It's just I think it's the star that gazes upon the moon. If you're talking about like the part 2 prologue thing.
Yeah.
So it is based after part 1.5, and it's like right before
Part 2. Right?
yeah, like what happens
Mhm.
in part 2.
Yeah, that's the only thing that I haven't done. Aside from that, I've been like up to date, and like I like try to like, well, not try like specifically, but it's more or less it's just like whatever like the Honkai YouTube page posts, I'll look at that and I'll go from that. Like
Okay.
yeah, like I like because I don't have a Bilibili account, so like I hate using Bilibili for anything because I'm looking at this thing, it's like 480p, and I'm like, oh my god, what am I looking at?
It is very hard to use Bilibili.
Yeah,
if you
it's just like
don't know
a
how to navigate it.
megapixel, and I'm like, I'm good. I'm just gonna wait for them to post it on the YouTube channels where it's high def. I could not hate my eyes, but then again, you'll miss like so much stuff. Like I remember, I like there was like the whole like dev live stream that they did for the 70 brick update that they never had over here because it was all in full Chinese. But I'm like, damn, I wish we had that.
Yeah, we miss out on a lot of that stuff, unfortunately. That's actually why I ended up making a Bilibili account way back. And I know it's hard because you have to like tie it to your phone and everything.
Yeah.
So
do you remember the issues we had, or that I think I was like in a voice chat with you when I was trying to sign up for Bilibili? Do you remember?
Oh yeah, you told me about it. That's incredible.
Yeah, my phone number is legitimately so. I'm not gonna say it, but it's so easy that not every, but there are sometimes that I run into when I'm signing up for an account that it'll think I'm inputting a fake phone number and it won't let me like actually sign up. And I was having that issue with Bilibili. It took me like 2 hours or something to finally get it to send me a code.
Yeah,
Wait,
Vanity literally
Bilibili
has
work?
like the most spoofable phone number or something like that.
Yeah.
Wait, does it work with your like regular US phone number? I thought you had to
It
put a
does,
Chinese.
yeah.
It
That's
does.
how
Yeah,
that's how I.
It does.
What the heck? I've done it before, and it's like no. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Or
Sometimes it will
very
literally
fickle.
take like 30 minutes to get, like, you have to keep trying
Yeah.
because
oh,
it only
Yeah.
gives you like 90 seconds to input
Yeah,
the code,
that
but
was- well, no,
sometimes
it's
the code will
actually-
take 30 minutes.
Yeah,
The 90
right?
seconds, I don't know why we're getting into this, but like the 90
Yeah.
seconds is for how quickly you can send another code.
Oh,
You
is
actually
it?
have,
Okay,
like,
yeah.
You
I
actually have
got
like
you.
10 minutes to like
Okay.
verify that it's you.
Oh, never
But
mind.
you're right. Yeah. To swivel it back over, Dave, what is the biggest thing you're excited for in part 2?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so like obviously when we were first teased like part 2, number 1 it was like you're going to Mars. Number 2, there's gonna be a completely new cast, right? I think if you followed my Twitter at all, you can probably tell that I am obsessed with Senadina. Her gameplay looks really good, right? Like all the new characters are pretty much bringing in fairly unique, either new weapon types or new combat styles. The combat itself is going to add an extra dimension with the aerial combat. So we're
Let's go.
basically getting like APHO levels of gameplay
Yep.
in like base game now, which is like what I've wanted for the longest time ever since I even played APHO, right?
Yeah.
Because I remember thinking like, wait, this is really, really good. You know, like I can totally see why MiHoYo wanted to make an open world game because they're like, you know, why don't we just try to keep pushing the limits, you know?
Yeah.
So
When
I'm very excited for. I mean, I'm always gonna be excited for like new Honkai story, but like, yeah, I want that like that new kind of I guess like feeling of combat in the game.
Yeah, and it's gonna be more than just like for that new feeling, because I looked into a lot of like the stuff that yesterday, because I did finish, like I technically caught up yesterday, so I went through and looked at a lot of part 2 stuff yesterday, because now elves are being switched to like the new system that they have,
Yeah, like the
Ox
Lyle
or whatever.
support.
Yeah.
unit, right?
And so they basically act like elves, but it can reset your QTE cooldowns or something like that. There's a lot of new like things that adds into the combat besides just the jump button now.
What fighting game does it remind me of? It's like a Marvel versus Capcom, right? Where
Marvel,
you bring in
yeah,
some
yeah,
Tag team. Oh
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
god.
because now you have the synergy with the Dream Seeker too. Because now you can like do the little like
Oh,
weird
yeah.
co-op attacks things. Yeah, it's really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, I saw that and I was like, what the heck? I was like, we got 4 playable characters in
I
one
know.
team. Oh, no
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
And then some people
Yeah.
were like, nah, that's just a synergy thing. I'm like, huh? What do you mean? So
Yeah,
I will say,
both Songtre and Dreamseeker are their support units right off the bat, right?
yes, yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, so like that extra dimension of like team building is going to be interesting.
Which also, now the only way to get elves, because you can still use elves, But the only way to get them now, like once part 2 comes out, is I think through spending events and battle passes. Because you can
Rip,
still
I'm never
get
getting
them.
Project
Wait,
Bunny
so-
then. I'm just
I-
kidding.
Yeah, legacy.
Dude, I'm literally only like I only have like 3 elves, so I don't.
It's
I'm like
fine.
I'm not that worried about it.
I'm
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 fine,
an
yeah.
idiot. I bought elves because they're
Me
cute.
too. Me too. Me
Okay,
too.
see, and that's what I was saying like on stream yesterday was the fact that they're changing elves to be, instead of just, the tiny cute robots, to being full on like beautiful women. Obviously, people are gonna
True.
roll way more.
Got 'em.
Like
That is
the amount of
true.
pulls being used on like the elf banners are gonna be skyrocketed.
Yeah, I mean, look
Yeah.
at the Songcha already, right? Like everyone's simping for. Wait, but they're changing the currency too, right? Because it's not going to be the same prices as elf tickets anymore.
Oh, it's
Right?
not gonna be 100.
I don't remember if they're changing the actual prices for the elves, but I do know that in terms of like the gacha changes, because there is some gacha changes in part 2. Particularly one is the stigmata, like master stigmata rate is like being increased from like 3 to 14%,
Yeah, that's
which
crazy.
is absurd.
Oh.
And then also hard pity is being dropped from 100 to 90.
And
Yeah,
then
what
also
going down.
Oh, go on, dude.
From what I understand, from a general standpoint, almost everything about the gacha system in HI3 is going to be improved. Like so, lower hard pity, craftable stigmata, like off rates aren't going to be like a huge problem anymore, right?
Yeah.
But I think that the what they're doing to offset that is they are introducing the dupe system for equipment, right? Or for weapons at the very least.
For
right?
weapons, yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I think I'm pretty sure it's only for weapons, and I don't remember. I haven't gone into it too much because I was gonna look at it like when it comes out, but I don't think it's up to 5 like it is in like Star Rail. I think it's 3.
Is it 3?
Oh, thank God. Oh,
I
thank God.
thought it was 3. I might be wrong about
Yeah.
that. If I am, correct me in the comments.
That's
So-
still
so
yeah.
at this
That's still.
point, you want to like see more
I actually
weapons
wish there were
then.
more. I well actually maybe I should take that back. But like
Yeah, let's see how it actually benefits, because I don't know what I mean, because obviously it's going to boost the base stats when you get it, but I don't know if it's going to
Yeah.
add any like different like weapon active or anything like that.
Oh,
right.
like, oh, I hope it's not gonna add like an extra effect, and then everybody's
No,
like,
I hope not
"Oh."
either. I predominantly believe it's going to be stat boosting, but it's one of those things where it's another thing to chase, right? Because you're gonna want triple S Valkyries,
Mhm.
and you're gonna want like I don't know what they're gonna call it, like R3 or E or S3.
I wonder what they're gonna call
whatever
it now.
it'll be.
you got superimpose, refinement,
I think they're calling it resonate, right?
I think it
Resonate?
is. Resonate, and also
Yeah.
there is new materials to upgrade the part 2 stigmatas as well.
Oh, that's what I was
yeah.
talking. That's what I forgot about. Yeah, they're introducing a new material too, which
Mhm.
is like, again, it's going to be like a time gated farmable material.
Yeah,
So
I
to,
don't remember
like-
what it's called, but they are
Oh,
going to
yeah.
give us some like as a login bonus for part 2. That way we get a nice little like start.
Yeah,
Is it
so
like
there is
the
a give and
Mirage?
take.
Like the Mirage, like currency basically. Like you get like tickets per day, and you can only
No.
so many,
It's basically like the things that you use to like level up the stigmata,
the EXP
like the
one,
mats. Yeah. There's basically a new like EXP mat that you need to use like to level it up, like to level up part 2 stigmata specifically.
right? So basically, we're all getting soft reset.
I mean, yeah, there's a
Yeah,
give and take, right? Because
basically,
like
yeah.
like having all the veteran, I don't know, like I know it feels kind of bad, especially if you've been with the game for 7 years, but like it's one of those things where I feel like they do want to move it in like a new direction, and they're gonna have to figure out a way to transition us over.
Yeah.
Which, speaking on that, for any new players that are going to be joining for part 2, I know we were talked about like catching up to part 2, how we wanted to catch up to part 2 before we actually play, but you don't actually need to catch up to play part 2. Like if you are interested in playing part 2, you can absolutely start playing like once it comes out. You do need to be level 30 to actually start part 2, but that you can do that in less than a day. Like it's super easy to level up in this game, especially now because there's just so many things to do, and they give you so many EXP like boosts at the start of the game. That you're able to like just sail to level 30. And I was told that there's basically zero information that you really need to know about part 1 or 1.5 for that matter to actually start like part 2. So if you're new and you just want to jump in, absolutely go for it.
What do you think about the idea that I pitched where we should do a stream where we should just try to get to part 2 as like from a brand new account as soon as possible?
I am so down for that idea because I actually had a friend that I just got into Honkai like mentioned that they want to do that too. Yeah, like as a stream was as a new account, like go into part 2. But I'm gonna go back a little bit because I didn't say what the biggest thing I was looking forward to in part 2 was.
Oh yes,
which
please.
Obviously is the story. Because I absolutely know that they will be cooking.
Yeah.
And they've already like got my gears turning in my head as a lore person because I'm not gonna say anything about like I don't know too much about Sinadina, but I won't say anything that they like showed in the little like prologue thing yet. But if you saw her little trailer, you know, where she did her little dance, the yo-yo dance with the No Ceiling song. She can summon that anchor thing, which is also like it's like an innate power that she has, which is I think somehow linked to the scar on her chest. But Sinadina doesn't know her past, at least supposedly.
Oh no, she
doesn't know.
M7.
But what's interesting is they actually said she doesn't know her past, present, or future.
Wait,
which is odd. Yeah, it's sus, right? It's suspicious. And
what does that mean?
There's also in the announcement trailer for part 2, there's the massive anchor, and even in the little mall, there's like there's little
there's like, anchors scattered all over.
Yeah, so whatever that anchor is, it's like I don't know what it does. What I'm assuming is it's linking that area and making it a stable bubble universe. It's like anchoring it to be a thing. But she's able to somehow summon the anchor. But anyway, I'm looking forward to actually seeing how they start the interactions between the new cast, like the new trio, because we're basically starting fresh with this trio, and it's going to be really, really cool to see how like their personalities are individually and then how they are together and then how they'll actually tackle the massive plot points that Honkai is known for throwing at our crew.
Right. Wait, Yaz, did you play any of the new stuff that kind of introduces the cast?
What do you mean the new stuff that got introduced?
The new cast, sorry, the part 2 cast.
No, I didn't play anything.
Are you familiar?
Okay. No, I just know like the
you know who they
hammer.
Are. Or like,
yeah, but the name I suck with names, so it's gonna take me like another like half of a year for me to remember
that's fine.
So
you've only seen like the images and the
I seen like the images. Like when you guys said Song Trail, I'm like, who the heck is that? I Google searched it real fast. I'm like, oh, that lady. Like, and I know there's that, and then there's the red, the white and red looking girl. I think she's the guns or something. And then there's the hammer girl.
Yeah,
Helia. And then there's Coralie, and then there's Yo-Yo Lady, which I still can't pronounce her name correctly.
Sinadina.
Yeah. At one point I gave up. Sardine. I call her Sardine.
No, yeah, people are calling her Sardina. I'm like, please no.
I mean, it makes sense. Tuna and sardine.
I guess so, right?
Yeah.
We got tunality, we got Sardina. But Vanity, I was gonna ask you, are you aware of like the like antagonist?
Yeah, I was gonna say that's what I'm looking forward to actually.
So yeah, I have seen the trailer that we'll be getting soon probably. I have seen the CN version where they showed off the new like 7 villains or whatever.
Okay.
That's theorized to be.
That's an interesting number, right?
Yeah, the 7 deadly sins. Yeah. Which I think is gonna be super interesting. And actually, I chat kind of said this was a spoiler, but I didn't think it was. Because it was just a thing that I noticed. But in the shadows in that trailer that they showed for the 7 villains, one of them is definitely Songchua.
Yeah.
Like 100%. Not to mention they literally call her like the something of deception, like the queen of deception or something.
Yeah.
Also at the little like part 2 event that they're doing in Santa Monica, one of the events is Songchua's box of deception, where you have to put your hand in the box and like you guess what the item is that you're touching.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it's gonna be really cool.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for the most as well, because I'm always a big fan of the villain groups. I'm always interested in villain backstories.
Yeah,
Oh,
so that
really?
actually leads me into my second question, which is what character are you most excited for, or like what's your favorite looking character so far in part 2?
Oh my god.
I mean, as of right now, I would personally say they're all kind of like even for me, because it's just the fact that like all I have to do, like all I can go off of right now, if I were to like say, oh, which one do I like the most, is by visuals. And like in terms of like in that standards, like Sendia is like the quote unquote best option because she has the most screen time, and you know, there's so much
the hottest.
Yeah, and you know, and she has like the I think I saw a spoiler, so I think she look a little something like like me and Dave's favorite girl. I think I saw one part, so I was like, ooh, okay. But yeah, for me, I'm just kind of holding on like one of my favorites right now. But I guess I'll put Sendia for right now.
Yeah, she has a very striking resemblance to Elysia.
Yeah, I have seen all the all the comparisons. And yeah, I mean, I don't disagree. I can definitely see it.
Hold on, you know, I just realized I feel like at one point we're gonna see those videos. Is Sendia Elysia reincarnated? Like a
we gotta make one of those videos
again. Repeat of March 7th again.
Yeah. But yeah, like I am also really looking forward to Senadina. Like she's the one I have my eyes on. Songcha looks amazing as well. I really like Helia's design, and I like that they made her like a gunslinger. And like Coralie looks like kind of to me she's probably the plainest design wise, but I think combat wise she might be really fun because of just the whole
she looks really fun.
Yeah, just that like the hammer gameplay looks like it'll be. I mean, part of it is like, oh, just spin to win, right? But at the same time, the mobility in her animations looks really good.
I will say with obviously just right off the bat, mine is also Senadina. Love her. Literally the moment she showed up on screen when they first revealed it, I literally said, nope, it's over. I don't need to see any other character in part 2.
Yeah, I remember. It was like they first showed her just coming in as a QTE character with her yo-yos, right? And then she does her ult, and everyone freaked out over it because they're like, who's this hottie with the electric yo-yo, right?
Yeah, and it was a little bit before that because they were just cycling through all the characters, like just standing there in like the little mall area.
Yeah.
Right before we figured out that we could jump, because then they had Coralie jump right after.
Hell yeah, dude.
But yeah, Senadina, I love I went crazy because her moveset is so similar to Bridget in Guilty Gear. Almost there's so many things where she like starts skating on the yo-yos and then she has like the dual spin beside her and just all this other stuff that is so reminiscent of Bridget, and I love Bridget.
Does that mean we're gonna get ballless and Adia? We're gonna replace the yo-yo with the basketball like how they did with Bridget?
Oh yeah, with the mods, yeah. But yeah, I'm really excited for Senadina also because just any redhead character, top tier, my favorite, absolute goat right there.
Yeah, the redheads, man.
Character. I know. What are they doing to me? But I will say with in terms of not just absolutely, simping over Senadina, I did get to play the little like prologue thing that they added yesterday. And not to spoil like how they are, but Helia, her voice and her personality is not at all what I thought it was going to be, but it's so good. Yeah, because I thought off of her appearance that Helia was going to be like a dominating personality, like just very blunt and just to the point. She's not. She's the complete opposite. She's a shy softie. Like,
well, but hold on. Is this JP or CN though?
This is JP, but it's not just her voice. It's like her dialogue, like the way that
her dialogue. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
I know that she kind of has a like her relationship with Coralie is kind of like Kiana Bronya.
Yeah, they like don't want to be next to each other.
Yeah, early Kiana Bronya anyway.
Yeah. But yeah, it's all the personalities that they get. I think you'll love them when you actually get to play the prologue or whenever you see them in whenever part 2 comes out.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
But on the combat one, you're talking about how Coralie looks incredibly fun. One thing that I'm so excited for, which if you guys remember, dude, they're finally adding controller, like keyboard and mouse support.
Yeah.
Oh my god, this is incredible.
It's like one of my biggest complaints of HI3 is that you have a full, well, I mean, like I say full-blown PC client, but like you're gonna provide the game for PC, but not let us use keyboard and mouse. Like,
Yeah.
so now, yeah, you can actually map. Like, I don't know if is it like full integration or is it
is
like
full
mapping?
integration. So now it's basically it's exactly like Genshin, where as you're in combat, you can look around with your mouse. Because before you had to like if you
Thank
were going to
goodness.
use mouse and keyboard, you'd have to click and drag, and then like
Ugh!
like do whatever, which it was
Emulator
awful.
gaming.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
now you can actually just straight up, left click is attack, right click is dodge. And you can have like all the different skills be, WSD to move, E is like ult or whatever.
The only other thing I really want them to address, and they can take their time with it, but like for controller support, I actually want full controller support. Like I really don't like the fact that the joystick moves a mouse pointer.
Oh, the cursor.
Yeah.
I don't think they're. I would like to see that, but
I don't
I'm
think
pretty
they have it
sure
ready
as
yet,
for
or
right
if they're
now,
working on it.
yeah, I think it's still. I think it is still a cursor, but
yeah, I'll
at
take
least they
the-
let you change the cursor speed.
Oh God, yeah, but I'll
But
take
honestly-
I'll take the keyboard and mouse.
Yeah, now that they're adding that, I don't know if I'm gonna use controller because I like. Do you use a controller? This is kind of off topic, but just real quick, do you use controller on
I do.
Star Rail?
Mm-hmm.
No, not in Star Rail,
no. Only
No?
controller
Like
on
we're like,
Honkai.
yeah, no.
Yeah,
Okay.
only on
That's-
Honkai. Yeah.
I see a lot of people use controller on Star Rail, but yeah, I only use mouse and keyboard on
As they
on
should.
Star Rail
I
too.
think Star Rail. I mean, even like Genshin, right? Like I think all the games actually play fairly decent on controller, and if you're more
they do,
comfortable
yeah.
with the controller, like the games make a lot of sense on them. It's just HI3 specifically, and I'm only hammering on it because I love the game so much, and it's obviously it's an older game. It's just like it's just weird to me that we have this like the combat feels fantastic on controller, but navigating the menus in the game is just like, all right, let me just put it down and grab my mouse, you know?
I agree. I will say
Yeah.
one thing that is nice is if you're using the if you have DS4 like the software and you're using a PS5 controller, you can just use the touchpad as your mouse, so it's really easy to browse like through the menus, like with a little touchpad on it.
Damn, that's
But
some-
that's
that's some
obviously that's only on
five-head.
a PS5 controller.
Dave, are you
yeah.
rich? Do you have a PS5?
I don't.
Not me too. Me
Hey,
too.
you don't have to have a PS5 to have a PS5 controller. You can just go get one.
just bait everybody that goes to your house like, hey, yo, Dave, you got a PS5 now? And it's like, no, I just play for Honkai Impact Third only. What?
Oh my gosh.
But with the other or I don't even remember if you guys answered the question. Do you think you'll switch to keyboard and mouse, or do you think you'll stick with controller since you've been using it for so long?
I would say I want to give it a try, but
I will definitely give it a shot.
Yeah, I think because for me, it's just like we've been, or at least I've been programming this so much to using controller. It's like the
It is kind of second nature, yeah.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah, that's
hard,
true.
and I guess it depends on the layout. Like I said, I'm surprisingly like it's not spoiled at all for anything part 2 related. So I didn't even know that there was keyboard support at all until you just brought
damn.
it up. Yeah, I didn't know. Yeah, that's how
Wasn't
in the
surprised,
like.
huh?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, that's how like I'm in like the blind for everything for part 2
Clueless?
related.
You're that
Yeah,
emote?
I'm actually just clueless Andy. Like I'm like,
Well,
what?
that's
though.
actually great, yeah. 'cause
Okay,
this
we
is
shouldn't
a
spoil
great
you
topic.
anymore then. I feel like
No.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
I mean,
well-
like I said, I'm always a big fan of like spoiling like gameplay purposes because I think those are always important.
quality of life.
Yeah, quality
features.
of life. You know, because those I'll
Unit
always
stats.
talk hard. Yeah. Or because sometimes I'll like miss out on quality of life stuff that like people are like, oh, you didn't know about this. I'm like, no, nobody told me anything. I never looked it up either. Right. So it's like I'm like, oh, thank God you told me this. My life changed. It's like the
Well,
whole
hey,
meme.
speaking of extra quality of life, would this count as quality? I think it would. Do you know about how the bridges are changing in part 2?
No, go on, please. This is a learning. This is a learning podcast for me today.
So in part 2, whenever you actually access the okay, this is probably going to be new information for you too. In part 2, it's basically kind of like Star Rail's open world exploration, where there's different areas of like massive, or not massive, but bigger instanced locations that you can walk around in. And so whatever area you're in, you can just press the pause button, and it'll basically bring you to the bridge. And it like the bridge theme will be wherever you were standing in like part 2. But obviously they do have the bridge themes and everything, and
The original
obviously
ones,
you
right?
wouldn't want to go those. Yeah, you wouldn't want those to go to waste. So you can still choose between like part 1 and part 2 style bridges. And you can have like if you have the Arc City bridge, then you can still put that on. with the part 2 characters and
My
whatever.
paid bridges.
Thank God I never bought it.
Yeah, your paid
Thank
bridges.
God I never bought it.
I own like
I
all of them.
love the arcs. Yeah, I also own all of them.
No, I was contemplating because I was like, oh, surely they're gonna release more, right? I'll hold on this one, and then like look at us now. At the end of part 1, we got 2 free bridges. The China one, and then you have the Elysium Realm, and then you have Graduation Trip one, and they're all
the graduation
free.
trip one is so good. Yeah,
yeah, I've been using that one too because I think that one just nice.
I like the Graduation Trip bridge. It's just that sometimes the music just makes me feel like kind of too sad. But
yeah, no, that's very based.
Yeah, I'm just man.
That's how I felt with the Elysium Realm. It's like
The Elysium Realm one is I apologize, but it is too pink.
It
is very pink. It is very pink.
It is like, oh, let's turn the bloom up to like 200%.
But it's because with the bridges, I do try and actually like match the theme of the person that I have on the bridge with the bridge that I have.
Yeah, see, I don't.
So
like
color wise, I'll actually or a lot of the times if I'm starting a new chapter, whoever the chapter's about, like Fuhua, for example, I'll have Fuhua on the bridge.
Just
to,
I've been swapping. I've been full friendship farming.
I'm a friendship farmer.
I
just give me a stick or give me a carrot to chase. That's the type of player I am.
Speaking of the friendship thing, because apparently my chat didn't know this, and I'm, as far as I'm aware, it's on every version. But whenever you go to do the errands in the dorm,
yes,
you know how whenever you do quick select, it brings up the character model on the right.
Yes.
Wait, what?
When you quick select, yeah, you know how it like pulls up the model, like one of the character models. Like
in the dorm? You're talking about Honkai Impact Third, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The errands, like you know how like you send people out to do like the little jobs.
Yeah. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, and then whenever you do quick select, it'll like show one of the character models on there.
Yes.
Yeah, if you tap on them, it'll increase their friendship.
Oh my god.
Every time you go through like 8 of them, if you click quick select and tap on them, you can farm everyone's friendship.
Wrap it up. I'm going to farming.
I'm done, dude. I'm hanging up my cap. I'm a retired captain.
How many years old are we now? 3 years old, and this is like the first time we heard of this.
Do you remember, Bendy, when I went? Oh my god! I didn't realize you could open the directory to see the heart level of each Valkyrie.
Oh yeah.
No,
but actually, now that we're talking back about part 1, my next question, because the other board kind of running out of time, but the other part of the topic is part 1 look back
retrospective. We should...
so with I don't know if when you guys actually started part 1 like if this was still a thing. I don't think it was back in the Evo collab, but when I first started, the PC client had a bug where it would not unzip the subtitle files for any of the cutscenes.
No,
so you had to go into
too.
The game and manually unzip all of them.
So it was so dumb, dude.
The only thing that I'm still trying to figure out is how do I get like CN cutscenes instead of JP ones?
No, it's way too convoluted.
And then my friend was like, you have to like unzip everything, and I'm like, no, I'm good. Never mind. Worst case scenario, I'll go back on YouTube. I'll look up the CN. I'll watch it again myself, man. Oh
yeah,
my
Yaz
God.
and I are we're CN enjoyers, so it really sucks because it's like hard programmed into the game, because the files that we download as global players are just like the hard coded Japanese voices. Yeah. And I looked into it, and it was literally like every time you patch the game, you have to repatch it with something else that replaces all of your
CG files,
CG files. Which get overwritten anyway every time you patch, and then I forget if you actually get an actual mux of the subtitles, but that was like one of the main pain points was that like I want the CN audio, but like I want the English subtitles, and it's like
I don't think I have that issue on because I'm on C server, so I'm on like the C client, and I'm pretty sure if I go to CN, it's the CN audio. But the English subtitles.
So Vanity is like the weirdo who's on SCA.
What the hell?
My biggest regret.
Point at that guy. Not being American.
Biggest regret.
You know what's crazy is they're finally combining all other regions into the same like timetable now. Like global SCA and I think like
only
greater China territories are all in EU, right? We're all combining to have the same anniversary and everything now.
Yes, that's correct.
So global is just global, and then there's just China.
Yeah, it's
No,
basically
no,
CN
no.
versus CN and global now.
No, CN. We'll be celebrating the anniversary with CN too.
Oh, we're syncing up with CNC. Oh, but it's just anniversary, not updates.
It's
right?
It's just
The patches are
just celebrating
still-
the update. Yeah.
Yeah, but the problem is we
We'll
still
be
have
a
the
month
regional
behind.
problem. Like we can't friend each
Yeah.
other and stuff. So whatever.
Yeah,
Oh, still
that's
can?
the biggest problem is that I'm on C and I can't friend anyone.
Yeah.
But and also because whenever they do these local events, like whenever they did the Cinti, who else was it? It was the little like boba
Oh
tea
yeah,
collab
all
that
the
they had.
redemption codes wouldn't work for you, huh?
Yeah, I had to
That's
send
so
them
messed
to
up.
I did add them to my global friends. Yeah. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
But speaking of part one, what was your guys' favorite arc so far of part one, or just like favorite moment of part one so far?
Oh, it's just leaving my Elysium realm.
Yeah,
Elysium
I think people
Yeah.
are like not gonna like this answer because I know a lot of hardcore people have like come to my streams and like kind of told me that like they really don't like the Elysian Realm arc, but
Oh,
like
really?
I think Elysium Everlasting is absolutely my favorite arc. Even though like I say Kiana Kazan is my favorite character, her growth as a character is like the most important thing to the story, but like Elysium Everlasting was something that I saw from beginning to end and really felt like holy shit, like this was a story that like
Was that
I really enjoyed.
Wait, so was that the first arc that you like had since it started? Like whenever you started playing, was it the first arc that like came out that you were there for?
I mean, arguably, right? Because like I was there for Coliston, but like I couldn't appreciate how important that was because of the fact that like I was catching up on like 5 years of Honkai story, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
I
yeah.
definitely
that's the
feel
same
like-
thing for me.
Yeah. I think the reason why like both of us, like Yaz and I, are like we started with Eva, but then we had a really good time with ER, even though like it was a huge divergence from the main cast, and it lasted an entire year. But like part of me really thinks that it was their test to see if they can move Honkai forward, without
absolutely.
a
Oh,
trio.
like from the
right?
Yeah, they wanted to see if they
yeah.
could actually have people get attached to a new cast.
and it worked.
I feel
because-
like they did it
Yeah.
well.
Apparently, like Elysian Realm brought a lot of new players into the game because they saw characters like Elysia, like Mobius, like
Yeah.
Vilvi, right? So
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that is
'cause-
that's the thing. Oh, sorry, go.
Yeah,
You
no,
go.
because my thing was that like it was just Elysium was also what made me really was interested in the story. Because quite frankly, before that, I was a story skipper because one, it just felt like really confusing trying to understand what the hell was going on. Because like I was in Cold I'm like, what the hell is this Auto guy? Bro? What the hell is he doing? Why does everybody hate him and love him? What the hell's yeah? Like I was literally like, what's wrong with this guy? Why does everybody say, oh, I hate him so much, but he's so true? And I'm like, what the hell's going on? And then I was just like, whatever. I'll wait for somebody to upload like a TLDR video and I'll just go binge that. And then with the Elysium Realm, I'm like, oh, perfect. I don't even know what the hell's going on. I just go in and say, yep.
Elysian Realm proved that like it showed us how we could experience an entire story from beginning to end and appreciate it that way, right? And I think that's what like mattered about I think like the franchise overall. Again, like the trio story is like still the most important part, but like when you're not as invested or when you weren't there from like day one, it's really hard. Like any like gacha player who like tries to catch up with like existing games, right? They're always gonna say like, oh yeah, I wish I was there when it started because such and such, right?
Yeah,
so
that's why like, I only play games that are like from launch now. I'm just like, no, I'm good. I'm not going in.
Yeah, that's because like I said, one of my because I actually did play Honkai pretty close to when it released in global.
Right.
And then I stopped playing, and then I came back again, which was when I said it was a little bit before Lament of the Fallen, and then played for a little bit, and then left, and then came back again, and then that third time that I came back is when I stayed. Because it was funny when I first started. Yeah, when I first started, because the only gacha games that I had played before Honkai, like I'd played a couple, but the only one that actually kept my my attention for longer than a couple weeks was Grand Blue. And so one of the biggest things that I like loved about gacha games was the fact that there's so many characters to collect, so many cool designs, like all this other stuff.
Yeah.
And when I got into Honkai and I was like scrolling through the characters, I was like, what is this? I was like, why is there so few characters, but just so many of the same?
Why is everyone Bronya?
Yeah. But what's so funny is now I only want that. I like now that I'm a dedicated lore person. I love the fact that it is just a smaller cast and we get the upgraded versions as their character development is happening in the story.
Yeah.
That is so sick because it's so much easier to get attached to the character, and also you feel an emotional reason to pull for the character. As opposed to just
that was
like,
me in Flame Scion, because Flame Scion was the turning point that showed Kiana, learn to control her powers, and she was going to basically use the power of friendship to win the day, right?
Yeah.
And that was such a special battle suit to me, because that was the representation of like her coming to terms with who she is and who she's going to become.
So was that also the Flame Scion CG? Was that the first animation that you were able to watch?
No, the first one that I watched. Okay, so I obviously watched a bunch of the old ones because of like Unreal Dreamer and his mega reacts on YouTube. And one of my friends told me the friend that got me into HI3. He told me to watch Lament of the Fallen, but it meant nothing to me at that time, right? Because like I'm not invested in these characters. I basically said this is Naruto versus Sasuke, very cool, nice animation, right?
Yeah.
But I appreciated it, right? From a technical standpoint, this is like some really good stuff. The first one I actually watched was Shattered Samsara, and I cried to that one. That was so good.
Nice. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Tears. Yeah. So I also watched, like, what made me stay was I'm a huge fan of animation. Like, I'm getting into 3D animation myself. Like, I've kind of realized that my entire life I've always wanted to be an animator. And so I'm trying to get into 3D animation right now. And I started playing Honkai again. And then, I said I started playing a week before Lament of the Fallen came out. That came out. And I watched and I was like, God dang. I was like, what? Like, this is good 3D anime. Like, this is what an actual 3D anime should be. And then I just fell in love with that animation style. And I went through, obviously, Final Lesson, watched all of them, not knowing that they were actually CGs in the game for the story. I thought that they were just like, doing whatever. So technically I spoiled myself on that.
No, I mean, same, right?
But yeah, I mean, it's what got me to stay with the game, so it is what it is. But but my favorite part of part 1 is the Hersher of Domination arc. Because that arc is literally like, Theater of Domination. Like that entire thing is just so sick. Like everything about Sele there, and then Kiana and the interactions between but like Kiana talking to the inner self, and like learning to truly control her powers and everything. That not to mention, I cried at that CG, like the animation for that one. Oh my god,
it was really good.
So
it was such an incredible like catharsis to watch that animation, and also like the chocolate door, right?
I love doors.
Yeah, MiHoYo will teach you to just fear doors.
But next, what's your favorite? That was your. Oh wait, yes. Did you say your favorite arc?
No, it's just the same thing as Dave as well. It's just also Elysian Realm.
Oh, that's right. Mm-hmm. What's your favorite character in part 1? Dave, are you gonna say Sushong?
Oh my god! Actually, I feel kind of bad because I would still say Kiana Kaslana. Right?
Really? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, from like a character writing standpoint and all that, like, I'm basic bitch, whatever. I like main characters. I have main character syndrome, blah 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 blah. Like Kiana's, and this is speaking as someone who like hated her character when I started the game, right? When they have you play White Comet in the beginning, it's like, oh my god, like why is this happening, right? But seeing her go from that to who she is now, I was like, this is my daughter and I must protect her.
Yeah.
But good point to bring up Lee Sushong, because I always need to appreciate my girl Sushong.
Yes.
The thing is, Sushong like shows up as this kind of like auxiliary character to Fu Hua's arc. And she's like really cool and stuff, but her involvement in part 1 is predominantly like post trio story, right? It's very much like the interlude. It's very much like a lot more comical. And I mean, she was there for like the end of part 1, but she wasn't like I don't want to say, she wasn't needed, but she wasn't like a completely necessary character, so to speak.
Yeah, but she was so nice to have. And also the event with her and Susanna.
Dude, that was, oh my god, that was like one of my favorite patches, dude.
It's so good because I actually played that one on stream. There's not a lot of events that I play on stream, but that one I did, and that one was really good.
Yeah, it was totally worth.
Yeah, for me, I started liking Fervent Temple because that was the character that was out when I first started playing, and I was like, "Oh, dual swords!" And like, it's like obviously, like during that time, I still wasn't like, I didn't know anything about the lore, so for me, I was like a full-on lore skipper. Right? I was like, "Oh, that looks really cool. 2 characters, like kind of quote unquote merged in one. It's great." And the edgy, I fight for my sister is what I assumed back then, right? And it's like, oh, I was like, I love that trope, and I ate it up. And then obviously my favorite character now is still Elysia because of obviously Elysian Realm was like
understandable
like the arc that I kind of went through and whatnot. And I think during that time people were posting so many things about Elysia, like the symbolism, the ideas, and like the thoughts. Like it's like, she did this and this because of this and that. And I'm like, and I just ate it up. And I was like, yeah, okay, there we go. I love her a lot. And I was like, yeah, that's so true. If it's like that, oh my god. And I just ate it all up. And I was like, yep, there you go. That's my favorite.
Yeah, man, Pink Jesus, dude. How can you resist?
Yeah,
Pink Jesus.
And also, she's just, there's literally no way you can't like her. She's literally too nice.
Yeah. And the fact that she was just such a lovable character. Yeah.
But yeah, my favorite, obviously. Vanity? Yeah, I was about to say, I know it's also basic, but Kiana, I feel like is the easy choice for me, just because.
Hell yeah, brother.
It's like seeing her go. Her entire arc, going from the absolute happy-go-lucky to the absolute depression that we saw in the later chapters, to the point of some screenshots of her at her lowest moments.
Yeah, and
then and then coming back to basically coming to terms with everything that happened, and then now finally being back to semi-happy. Well, I wouldn't even say semi, being happy-go-lucky again, like as Finality on the Moon. And just seeing her arc and everything that she went through is incredibly is so emotionally driven as to why she's one of my favorites. But besides her, Fu Hua. Because Fu Hua is so badass, dude. She's literally so cool.
Yeah, I got a newfound appreciation of Fu Hua in the Shattered Samsara animation. Right, because I played through the Hershey of Sentience, I guess the end of it, really, because I kind of joined at a time where they were wrapping up that story, but understanding that there were kind of 2 of them, and then how Fu Hua was willing to sacrifice herself and all the shit she had been through, I was like, wow, yeah, this person is really badass, because in the beginning of the game, again, because it's such a rough start. And you don't really care about those characters early on because of low power ratings. They're all very young. Well, I say they're young, but Fu Hua's already hey, I've been here for a while, right?
Yeah.
So their relevance becomes much higher later on. Yeah. So I was very impressed with. I'm impressed with all the characters and the arcs that they've had to go through. But yeah, I was very impressed with Fu Hua.
Yeah, what's funny is one of the reasons why I actually started getting invested into Fu Hua was her combat, because it was so different from everyone else's, and it was the way that you had to keep switching. I'm huge into fighting games, and so it was the most fighting game-esque combat in in the game, and so I was like, oh my god, she's so cool. And then so obviously I started reading the manga.
You like the new Fu Hua, right?
I don't have her.
Yo, Dave, twinning game. Let's go.
I literally cried on stream. I was like, I have enough to pull again, and the banner was gone. And I was like, no, you have to be kidding. And then chat told me that she's getting reran. Yeah,
for anniversary, right?
Thankfully. So during part 2, when the top up bonus is getting reset. I still have the top up bonus for part 1, so I'm probably gonna top up. Yeah, I'm probably, because there's also the spinning event in part 2, so I'm gonna top up before part 2 comes out, and then top up again, which is just double the double.
That's incredible.
Double again the next guy. Double again the next guy. Let's go.
Yeah, and then I'll be able. Did you see the new Sushang skin?
Yes.
Yeah. We talked about it. Yeah.
My god, the purple on that skin is so good. But anyway, we are reaching a pretty long time here for the recording, so we'll go and start wrapping up. I don't think we actually said at the beginning, but if you guys want to say any last words and then also say where people can find you on social media.
Yeah, for sure. You can find me on twitch.tv/Tadave, T3HDAVE, and that's pretty much my handle all over the internets. One thing I do want to shout out is all the Twitch streamers that are streaming in the HI3 category, because for this next couple of weeks, we have Twitch drops, we have a Twitch streaming campaign going on.
Yes.
And Mihoyo is definitely recognizing that, like, hey man, we really got to drum up hype for the game. We want to bring people into the community, trying to do more in-person events, trying to like pour more money into the marketing. So shout outs to all of you who are streaming Honkai Impact 3rd in the Twitch category, as well as just playing the game, picking it up, making videos about it, creating content for it. Thank you guys so much.
Yes, and thank you for everyone watching that content too.
Yeah.
Yeah, my final remarks are to everybody who's going to the Santa Monica event. Must be nice. I cannot attend, and I'm crying because I'm literally going on a last-minute trip to Japan to see the Gundam. But I'm like,
hey, but
I'm
I mean, that's
flying
pretty
on
good
the
excuse.
first day.
Japan, that's huge.
Japan,
Yeah.
Surely they do want a Japan, like, maximum coping.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can find me at this twitch.tv/YAZSUBICHU. Yazsubichu. Same thing as what Dave said. My handles are all the same everywhere else.
And then you can find me on YouTube. I jumped the Twitch ship a while ago. Although with all these, so with Honkai specifically, they always do Twitch events instead of like YouTube events. So maybe I'll stream on Twitch for a little bit. But
there's no YouTube events for anything.
There's no YouTube
I
like
know.
streamer program.
There's no like drops or anything. I know it's unfortunate, but yes, you can find me on YouTube as AzrialVanity. And also on Twitter. I make tweets a lot too, but all my content is on YouTube. And then the Santa Monica event, I am going. So if any of you guys,
that's crazy.
Man's flying over. Man's flying over.
I'm actually driving over.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, but So if any of you guys are going, look, if you know what I look like and you want to say hello, do that. But otherwise, I hope you guys are excited for part 2 coming out as of this recording right now. 8 days, so I'm very, very excited. But I hope everyone has a good one, and thank you for joining us on Captain on the Bridge.
Thank you.
Thank you.